So to start the demonstration, back in October, everyone should have received an email from Josh Taylor that looks like the one I have on my screen here. And attached to it were several documents with instructions, written instructions on how to view your pay stubs, how to punch in, punch out, how to request time off, things like that. And so what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to open up this pay statements document, the attached document, and walk through the process of logging in to UKG. And then once I am logged in, we'll actually take a tour of the interface, and I'll show you where some of the highlights are. The first thing that we want to do is we actually want to log in to the UKG site. And so at the very beginning of this document, there is a URL, actually a web address for UKG. And it's this blue hyperlink right here at the top. And so I'm going to follow that hyperlink. And I do recommend that you bookmark this site. I actually am using Google Chrome as my browser, and I've already bookmarked the UKG site, and you can see that up here at the top of my screen on this bookmarks bar. But if you have not done that, this is how you would. To bookmark a site, all you have to do is go to the upper right corner of your Google Chrome browser and click the star, which is bookmark this tab. And then by doing that, it'll automatically add a shortcut button to your bookmarks toolbar. Now, if your bookmarks toolbar is not turned on, you can actually turn that on by going to the upper right corner and clicking these three little dots. You can come down to bookmarks, and then show bookmarks bar is one of the choices. So again, my suggestion is navigate to that website, mark it as a bookmark by clicking the star in the upper right corner, and then make sure that you have the bookmarks bar turned on by going through that process right there, by making sure that's turned on. And like I said, that result will show the UKG website right here on that bar at the top of your screen. Now, at the beginning, when you were first given that email from Josh, or when you were first introduced to UKG, you should have also been assigned a user ID, an employee ID, and given instructions on how to use that. So the employee ID always starts with SRWM followed by 6 digits, which basically will correspond with your employee ID that you were given. So for example, if your employee ID was 99, you'd have to put in 000099. It has to be 6 digits. So in this particular case, I'm actually going to use just a temporary ID here. And then the password, initially your password is going to be your birth date, month, day, and year. So it would be a 2-digit month, a 2-digit day, and then a 4-digit year. So for me personally, it would look like this. Well, I guess you can't really see that, but it would be 01281973. And then once you log in with that initial birth date as your password, as soon as you log in, it's going to require you to reset it. And so you're going to set your own password, whatever you want it to be. You'll have to confirm the password, and then we'll also walk you through a process of setting some security questions. And it's all pretty self-explanatory. Once you put in that first password, you shouldn't have any problem. Now, I have already done that. And so I'm going to log in with this temporary employee's password. And that will take me to the UKG employee portal. Now on this very first screen that pops up, it does have instructions on how to install the UKG app onto your mobile phone. and it can be an iPhone or an Android, but it walks you through the instructions. So if you don't have a computer readily available, but you still need to be able to check your pay stub or see some of this other information, time off information, for example, then you would want to install this on your cell phone. And the instructions are very simple. The app that will show up on your cell phone, I will say it is a little bit different than what you're going to see on the screen today, obviously, because it's the screen has to fit on a cell phone screen. So again, you're going to see a few differences there. So once you're actually logged in, the first thing that you were actually probably introduced to back in October is how you can view your pay stubs. So probably for most of you, this will be the most common use of the software, I would think, at least initially. And so if I want to view my pay stub, I can, on the left-hand side of the screen, click Pay, and then I can go to my current pay statement. Now, this particular temporary employee that I'm using does not have any pay history or pay statements, so you're not going to see anything here. But if you were logged in as yourself with your own employee ID, you'd be able to go to Pay, go to Current Pay Statement, and you'd actually see your pay statement available on the right-hand side. If you wanted to review old pay statements, you could click on Pay History on the left-hand side, and it would give you a date list of all of your recent pay statements. I don't know, I think it'll probably only go back to when they first started using UKG, but this is where you will be able to go in the future to see those historical documents. Another thing that we want everyone to check back on frequently is inside My Company. And this is where you're going to be able to get to news and information. News and information is where you will find the wellness points list, the HRA instructions, and then an archive of Star of the West Spotlight. So I'm going to go to news and information. And the first thing I want to demonstrate is the wellness point list. So again, your wellness point balance reset at the beginning of December. And so now for this calendar year, you have to basically earn those points again. So how do you earn those points? Well, I'm going to go to the wellness point list and I'm going to click on the link for this PDF and I'm going to open it. And it just shows you all that's included. You're going to see that the point list is not as lengthy as it was last year. There's not as many ways that you can earn points. So it's quite a bit simpler than what you're used to. But again, these are your wellness points available. You also have in news and information your HRA instructions, the health risk appraisal meetings for each of the offices has been scheduled. All of you should have received an email from Casey recently. And so the HRA risk appraisal questionnaire just walks you through how to actually log in to the HRA site, how to complete that HRA. And then I think, yep, so the second page of that actually shows where those meetings are happening and when. So that's some more important information that we want everyone to see. And then also in the news and information, as I scroll down, and this I don't believe is completed yet, but there are several archived copies of the Star Spotlights from the past couple of years. And so if you wanted to look back at some of those, you have that capability. These are all PDF documents, so you'll have the ability to view those at your leisure. But the point being, this UKG site, we want it to become a hub where we can put a lot of Star of the West public information. Obviously, email isn't going away, so you're still going to get a lot of emails that talk about these same pieces of information, but we want you to get comfortable going to the UKG site, because as time progresses, this is going to be that central location where all of this information gets stored. And so as I'm currently looking at this, I'm in news and information, but this is also where you can get a quick copy of your employee directory. So if you wanted to see a list of all employees within the company and their locations and email addresses, you do have that at your fingertips here. Because UKG is rather new for most of the company, or for everyone actually, there's not a ton of information out there yet, but it is something that is going to grow as we move forward. Another thing that I would like to point out is that if you want to view any of your time off balances, that actually takes place inside of this workforce management link. And again, because I'm logged in as a temp employee, I don't have any hours accrued here. But when I clicked on that workforce management, let me do that again. On the left-hand side of the screen, when I click workforce management, it actually opens an entirely new browser tab at the top of the screen. And from here, I will actually be able to see, scroll down a little bit, I'll be able to see my accrual balances, my sick time, PTO time, my clock in and clock out shortcuts are found here. So many of you have probably been using this already. So again, at the beginning, there's really nothing you can do to mess things up. Our suggestion, or my suggestion, is just do some exploring. Log into that UKG site, set your password, get comfortable with the login process, mark the site with a bookmark, and then going forward, just come to this site frequently to, if you want to log in to see what options you have for your wellness points, if you actually have to sign up or set up your HRA, if you are planning on going to your doctor for a physical and you need the physical form for them to fill out, this is where you'll go to get to that information. Again, going forward, we hope to add a lot of additional information to this site, so please come back and visit this frequently. And if you have any questions about the site, you can reach out to Josh Taylor, you can reach out to Casey Jobson, you can reach out to myself, Dan Schlickbeer.